Dog whistles. Still better than lasers. I'm Sam.
Well, what can I say? Impregnation. Gets them every time. I'm Jackie.
Damn it, David, I'm a doctor, not a gynecologist. I'm Justin, and this is The Terror Within on Stinker Madness. Hello, and welcome to Stinker Madness. This week on the podcast, we've got a Roger Corman stinker from 1980-something or other. Sam, I totally missed that. Help me out.
Hold on. I forgot to write it down, too.
Oh, God damn it, you two.
86? Feels like 80.
The Terror Within.
Yeah.
1989.
This is 1989? Holy shit, okay. 1989, starring George Kennedy and some other Corman rounders. Let's go to you, Sam. Probably not a lot you're going to tell us about this, but hopefully you got some info on who's who.
This is Andrew Stevens' sort of first getting to know. This is his first Corman movie, but this is a long collaboration between him and Corman. That will start at this point. He directs the sequel to this film and directed a number of films for Corman. His cast list, or his credit list, is quite extensive because he's a Corman guy. 92 acting credits, 133 production credits, wow. 18 director credits, and 11 writing credits.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and he has a book series that's called Producing for Profit, Writing for Profit, Directing for Profit. I'm going to assume that those are... no, I think he's basically put the Corman method into words, but I can give you the abbreviated version of all of those books. Don't spend a lot of money on it and don't spend a lot of time on it. Yeah.
Crank it out. Just get it done.
Yeah.
It's probably only like 3 pages if he's using the Corman method.
Yeah, just fucking do it. Do you want me to get Fred? Fred will do this at night while he's doing another fucking movie.
Now get out of my office.
Yeah.
Credits.
If you don't come back in here with the movie, I'm calling Jim. The actual director probably took too long. His name is Theory Knotts, and he has a pretty short credit list because...
Theory Knotts? Yeah. Theory Knotts.
Theory Knotts.
Theory Knotts.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he like born of, those happy 60s parents? Like, or is it like John Depp's kid? I'm going to name my kid something stupid. Like, is his dad Jay-Z? I mean, what the fuck?
I don't think
Theory
so.
Knotts?
His dad is Mr. Knotts.
Well, they did not name their kid good.
Yeah, right. Boom.
Could be French or something.
Mic
you don't
drop.
know.
Jackie just hit a home run with her terrible joke.
You're welcome.
Had he not taken so long with this one, we might know more about him because, you take too long on a Corman movie, you're not going to work a whole lot more.
Uh-huh.
The writer also wrote The Sisterhood.
Of the
Thomas
Traveling
Cleaver.
Pants?
No, remember The Sisterhood? We watched that weird one with the glowy chicks and they had like crossbows versus post-apocalyptic road cars. And what's his face from the America 3000's in it? Yeah.
And the gal, the lead was somebody like Lori Petty, but it wasn't Lori Petty.
Yeah, and Richard Wagner?
Yeah. Probably Richard
Not
Lynch,
Robert
too.
Wagner, because he's the guy that is actually famous.
Mm-hmm. And potentially a murderer.
Potentially.
He did it.
So gargoyles. I found this to be an interesting subject of study that I already knew about. Because people have been really like calling things gargoyles that aren't gargoyles at all.
Uh-huh.
It's like, it's really just supposed to mean like gullet or throat. Because all they are is a water spout on a building that keeps the rainwater shooting off of it rather than eroding the bricks and the mortar.
Yeah, gargoyles can be shaped like anything, can't they? Like, I mean, even cute things like cherubs. Cherubs on the side of buildings are still gargoyles, right?
They can be it can be a ball that shoots water out of it.
Yeah. Still a gargoyle.
Yeah.
But then I thought that they started making them look like monsters in the Renaissance to frighten away would-be invaders.
I thought it was actually medieval times. Like, if that demon was on the building, then the real demons wouldn't come during the windstorm.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Like that.
The windstorm? Ooh, getting a little breezy out here. Satan's gonna get us.
It'd be like back when people were still afraid of wind, but you should be afraid of wind, tornadoes, for example. Just be afraid of it for the right reason. You're about to get hit in the face with something
a cow
that got blown into you.
Bill Paxton.
I'll just move to Florida and shoot at it with my gun.
Right. Shotgun the hurricane. That'll get those demons out of there. Demons in. That's so dumb.
It's dumb.
Who are these fucking people? Yeah.
Terry Trace is back, which she was in an episode, The Nest.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Where she was, and I believe she's, of course, the main female star of the Alien Nation series and 5 TV movies. I'm starting to really like her a lot. She's a lot of fun, I think.
Okay. She wasn't great here.
It's too bad. She wasn't great here, but she wasn't as bad as some of the other people.
Right. No, I'm just mean like there wasn't a lot of opportunity for her to really shine.
There were no boobs in this movie.
There was something in this movie. We'll
get to it.
Yeah, we're gonna get to some vagina stuff, Jackie.
And
penis stuff.
Terry Trace kind of retired from acting and started teaching it, and has taught writing and acting at LA Performing Arts and USC. So she's cool like that, yo. And that's pretty much all I have, other than this is just another Corman movie. Apparently, it got a limited release and did make $858,000.
That's not bad. That's not bad for a Corman movie.
Considering it was going to get $5 million for the video shelf.
Yeah.
And they spent $2 million on it or whatever. So
yeah, that's a nice upfront little help. I don't see why this wouldn't go to the theater. This is probably one of Corman's, I don't want to say best looking movie, but least shitty looking movie outside of the Gargoyle itself. There's not a whole lot to ruin because it's essentially just Alien, but underground. And so you don't have to worry about any exterior shots really to fuck up, like, oh, my spaceship looks stupid, like Battle Beyond the Stars or something like that. The most futuristic thing that they've got is just a switchboard that has some blinking lights on it. So as far as production design, there's not a lot of room for him to screw up.
There was a laser gun that was made out of PVC pipe fittings.
Yeah, the laser gun was pretty bad, but if you're 13, 14 going to, drive-in movie, you're probably not going to be, that looks terrible in this. There's no mat work, nothing like that. So
yeah,
I don't see why it couldn't go to the theater. Jackie, let's go to you. Costume talk. We pretty much are only going to talk about one thing. Let's jump into it. The gargoyle itself.
Oh my God. One, how many times did this guy pass the fuck out?
Right? Man in a rubber suit.
Yeah, because I didn't even see a breathy hole.
Like, his entire face is pretty open.
Yeah, his mouth doesn't close.
Yeah.
At all. We'll get to that later. I have questions.
I have questions up the wazoo about these things.
And then why is some of his muscles and stuff hanging out?
But you're right, doesn't he have full skin?
He's naked.
Uh-huh.
He's missing skin, and he's also missing a wiener, which he's supposed to definitely have.
Let's punt on the wiener talk until we need to.
Okay.
But there is a point in this movie where he Wolverines himself back together after getting burninated, but he forgot to put all of his skin on. Like, heal that open wound, dum-dum.
He was born like that too.
Right.
It just did not. What? And
I guess, I'm not saying anything about it's horrible when this happens, but he was premature.
Oh, God damn it.
Maybe that had an effect.
But the other
all of his fucking buddies look the same. They're outside at the end of the movie.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's just, they're just fucking ugly. And my first thought when in the opening scene is, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters!
Because
that's what I was gonna say is we've got Ghostbusters knockoffs 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, they had the black guy who smokes cigars, just like in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They had nerdy scientist. They had comedian guy. The suave guy, right?
Suave guy?
I think that was supposed to be the one that had the crossbow.
David. He's
David.
suave.
Andrew. That's Andrew Stevens. Hey, he got to audition to be Luke Skywalker, and they're like, "Fuck off."
But I mean, basically, other than so at one point, Luke Skywalker knockoff guy, David, gets his shoulder ripped up, right? And they patch up his suit with medical tape.
But not his shoulder.
Yeah, it was like, I think that's supposed to be on his skin.
Yeah. No, we've got to make him look, his suit's going to get ruined. He might pull a thread on a doorway and then unravel and wind up naked, and it'll become a Weezer song.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, it started to fall apart, and they were like, well, we're not going to give you a new suit, so we're just going to patch this one up with some white tape.
Oh, this is a Roger Corman movie, so it might have been a rental.
Oh.
We got to get their deposit back.
But basically, that's it.
Yeah.
Costumes were
I was thinking
pretty minimal,
really rip apart the gargoyle.
No, I don't want to talk about the gargoyle.
That's all we're going to talk about in this podcast. If you don't want to talk about the gargoyle, then I guess we're going to talk about...
He was disgusting. He's fucking gross.
He wasn't gross. He was
had
stupid
goopy
looking.
mouth. He had goopy mouth.
Well,
he had a Skeletor jaw.
Yeah.
He had weird teeth.
He had baggy skin too, because it's a pretty loose suit around this guy. It's not a well-made rubber suit.
And
he didn't have Skeletor jaw because Skeletor can move his jaw.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
I'll get you, He-Man.
But like, he had, during the rape scenes, he had all this saliva, gross goop shit in his mouth, and it was disgusting.
I thought for an Alien knockoff, this was actually surprisingly ungoopy.
It was gross.
Yeah.
And he was gross looking.
Yeah, he's not. The other thing that bugs me about when you put a man in a suit and your special effects makeup artist or costume designer or whoever designs goopy rubber suits, don't have the eye holes uncovered. Human eyes on a monster just looks not good. Give him lenses.
It looks dumb.
It looks stupid. Like, not frightening. Like, it tones down your fright factor when you can see the actor's eyeballs. Put lenses on them. Make them, have yellow eyes that the guy can still see through and not bonk into shit. He's probably going to still bonk into some shit here and there, but even if you just have eye holes, he's going to bonk into shit. His jaw was fucking too big.
Well, and he had a mouth within a mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
He couldn't see anything that wasn't directly in front of him. Like, directly in front of his eyes.
Right.
Like, anything that he could trip over is still completely invisible to the man in that suit.
Including other actors, dogs, fire extinguishers, oily rags that they leave on the floor.
The dog was definitely the star of the show for me.
Of course he was. Butch.
I liked how he wore his bandages.
Mm-hmm.
And he really sold it when he was injured with the grape jelly on himself.
Yep.
And he's a good boy because he didn't lick it off.
Right. You got to put that dog in a cone.
So he didn't lick the jelly off. And I was really proud of him.
Supposedly Butch is in the sequel. So we're going to get to...
What? There's a sequel?
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to have more goopy mouth guys in your future.
Tara Trace is not in the sequel.
Yeah. Yeah. How's that?
That sucks.
We'll wrap that up at the end of this. I think I'm ready to get going. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's set the world up because we're not going to do exposition when it happens. Mankind has been destroyed. This is a PA movie. 99% of people are dead, and it's all because of a virus and because people wouldn't get vaccinated. They even said this in 1989. Guys, if you need a little bit more motivation to don't listen to Uncle Joe, don't listen to Dr. Fauci, listen to Roger Corman.
I don't think this is going to be the gateway to getting anybody vaccinated watching this film.
It probably actually turned you off a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it would. You're like, yeah, I don't know.
It seems like it didn't work out for everybody.
Post-apocalyptic movie, people.
I said PA.
It's, my God, I hate these movies.
Okay. It sounds like you're not going to have a very fun time today. Somebody's got their poopy pants on.
Well, you know what? I'll give it this. At least they're not like...
Zombies.
Yeah, or in weirdo vehicles that they're driving around and,
Mad Max.
Fighting for the water. I mean, I could get past it because they're in a lab in the Mojave Desert.
Right.
And that seems like something that could possibly happen.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Because, so 99% of people have been wiped out, leaving basically, I think, are only people that are left that are living in these labs. What is the purpose of these labs?
They maybe came up with the vaccine, gave it to themselves, sealed the door.
Yeah, then hung out and banged.
That's what's happening in this movie.
Watch reruns on VHS of Murder, She Wrote.
Hey, that's an excellent show.
They had VHS of Murder, She Wrote yet.
Yeah. Well, what do you do in a PA world when you're locked in a lab?
You think of some really weird, sexy stuff to do.
Eventually, you're going to run out. I mean, you're down there for 80 years. The Kama Sutra is only like 256 positions.
Well, you could start experimenting with how big can I get my butthole to expand?
Hey, yeah, God.
Like, I'm going to shove an apple up my butthole
I think
today.
if that's what we're going to do in the medical lab, I'm just going to go outside and become a gargoyle.
Yeah. I feel like there's only a certain amount of time before I would, in any of these movies, be like, all right, you people, I'm done with you. I'm taking my chance with the wasteland.
Yeah, I'm gonna
see ya.
I'm nomading this shit, which is why that Patrick Swayze Steel Dawn movie was so rad. He's just a nomad, wanders around. You got to be a nomad when in the PA world. If you're hanging out in a lab, you're a doofus. You're not enjoying the post-apocalyptic stuff.
Well, and why would you be out in the middle of the fucking Mojave Desert? Like, this sucks.
Right.
Like, you got assigned to this post, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's probably the suckiest one because, as we later find out, there is another lab called the Rocky Mountain Lab.
Correct.
Those people have, like, deer and fish.
Something even more important, fucking water.
Yeah. They have it all there. I mean, they're going out and kayaking because I'm going to assume that these monsters can't swim.
I think that's a safe assumption. Their jaw would drag them down.
Yeah. They
fill up with water.
Get stuck on a rock and drown. Especially with those toenails. My God. So, they have it sweetly made in the Rocky Mountain Lab. The Mojave Desert people, they got screwed.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they got screwed. I think they're all dead because at some point they're like, Linda hands David a glass of water and she's like, we're running low on this. We're going to have to go out and find some pretty soon. You're not gonna. You drank it all. It's the desert. Assholes, get out of there. You're dead.
No, the drought's going to be over soon. Just a drought.
It's a desert. It's always in drought. God damn it.
They have cactus water.
Cactus milk. I don't think they're going to fill up their tanks and be able to flush their toilets with cactus water. Like, you need a lot of water to run a med lab. Trust me, I know from building med labs. Anyways, okay, so that's the world we live in. Two dudes from Mojave Lab. They're out wandering around looking for den, I guess, and they catch a snake and they radio back and they're like, hey, we got one. And they're like, all right, go get more because that's enough to feed one person. So they spot some buzzards and they're like, oh, there's probably some roadkill over there. Let's go get us some dillo. And they head over there and then they're attacked. And they call back on the radio, oh, it's gargoyles. And I guess they're dead.
Yeah. They're like, don't stand underneath it. Also, it's not raining out there.
Yeah. Don't stand underneath it. Don't open your mouth, Gary.
Yeah, well, that's dirty roof water, Gary. Don't drink that.
So they're dead. George Kennedy comes in. He plays a character named Hal, and he's too big for everybody else and constantly is stepping on them because he's a giant man. He's like, David, Sue, get out there. And they're like, what?
They've obviously, they're dead. Why do I have to go out there?
Yeah,
we need the bodies for the scientist.
Yeah, for science, not dinner.
That's what I was thinking. You guys are hard up for food.
Who wants chili?
I mean, why not?
No, you're gonna eat your friends. It's inevitable.
Also, isn't she just gonna take a blood sample, just like swab them? They're all like ripped completely open.
Yeah, right.
Just get a tissue sample. You'll be all right.
No, I need the whole body. All of it. I want to sleep inside that man tonight. Because Linda's got some issues.
She likes having sex with dead corpses.
Yeah, well, okay. That might be a little far. Sleeping inside of a man is fine, Jackie, but having sex with his dead body is way over the line.
Well, you know, if I was her, I wouldn't want to sleep with any of those other dingle dwarfs. Dead body doesn't talk back and it doesn't, bug you the next day.
Oh, it bugs you. You're going to get diseases.
Not if you use an alcohol wipe first to wipe them down. Polish his off with an alcohol wipe and then rat him on, cowboy.
I did not wake up this morning expecting to hear about my wife wiping down dead bodies so that she can have sex with them. It was not...
And then
predicted.
Find it more repulsive than taking dead bodies and turning them into a meat sack for sleeping.
They are fun for puppet shows. So they wander out there. We also get introduced to Neil and Andre. They're like, hey, our friends died today. Let's start drinking moonshine. Whee! Phil and Steve are dead. Who's thirsty?
It raises an interesting point where, like, you guys are having to use some of the fruits that we have to eat to make that. And they're like, yeah. And then everybody else is like, I'm not telling you to stop.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
In fact, I don't even fucking like fruit. Just make more of that.
I can't see anymore.
This is going to dehydrate us in an area without water. I'm fine with it. Go right ahead.
We're going to do anything in here. It's going to be, shine is going to be a part of it. Also, Andre's kind of a dick with the moonshine. Like, I think if you're in an underground post-apocalyptic base, and of course you're going to make toilet wine, you kind of everybody does it. Like, you don't get to have a monopoly on the moonshine. Sure, if you invented the vats and the boiler and all that, you got all that together, put it together. Somebody's going to go in there and be like, I'm going to make my own. It's like hoarding the coffee pot. You don't get to say that I'm in control of the coffee. You must do chores in order to get some of my coffee. No, it's everybody's coffee. This is everybody's moonshine.
Well, their coffee looks like diarrhea.
That's true. It does. It looks like Austin Powers' stool sample. What's going on with their coffee?
It's not coffee. They're said as much like, ew, yucky.
Ick. All right. So Dave and Sue, they go out, they find their bodies, and then they find more bodies. They find 19 bodies of only men. That seems strange. Where are the women?
It does seem strange.
Where are the women?
They're nowhere to be found.
Where are the kids?
Where are the children?
Well, he kills the male kids.
Yeah, he kills the male kids. Where's the
little girls?
Yeah.
Creepy ass monsters.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we know that later, based off of what these guys like to do, these gargoyles, they're a horny bunch. But why take the women? Why not just do what you're gonna do right there? And then I guess maybe they did do what they're gonna do right there, and then the ladies are like, ew, monster penis, and then they ran away after they were impregnated. They're like, I gotta get out of here. And then they go someplace and explode?
Yeah.
Okay. How long ago did this whole thing go down? Seems like just a few hours ago. All these bodies ended up here.
Yeah, because they're not decomposed at all.
No.
So that means that these nut sacks have been out there like a million times and never noticed that these people were living literally 10 minutes away.
I mean, not even that. Like David and Sue take no time to get there at all. It's like over a ridge.
Didn't see the campfire. Nothing.
No, didn't smell their barbecue. Hear them playing Zepp in the middle of the night, drinking shine. You know. Look out your window once in a while, you fucking medical lab idiots. So the Linda lady's like, bring a body back, and Hal's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But then the dog sees a busty lady running around, and she's being chased, I guess, by a gargoyle still. And so the dog tears off after her. David and Sue run after her too. David's got this fucking crossbow that he doesn't deserve because he fucking blind fires into a bush. Like,
he blind fires into a bush. He also loads it after it was clearly loaded.
Yeah, right. I noticed that too. What are you doing here, David?
And I'm going to burn a question now.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a weapon stupider than a modern crossbow?
What's the difference between a modern crossbow and a not modern crossbow?
A not modern crossbow was actually useful because it didn't have guns yet.
Yeah.
It made it to where an idiot could still shoot somebody with an arrow, whereas archery requires a certain level of skill.
Ah, I see. Because I think crossbows are kind of dumb, period. They take a really long time to load.
It shows him placing the bolts in there, like that's how you load it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stand on it and like wrench it up.
Yeah.
Like they have a rate of fire that is about as good as a musket.
Yeah. And if you, if you're out in a desert, say post-apocalyptic world, and you're not real qualified to have a crossbow, you're probably going to trip and then shoot yourself.
It's the only way to really shoot yourself with an arrow is a crossbow.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's almost impossible to do it with an actual bow.
Yeah, I'm good on crossbows. Like, no, I'll use something else.
Yeah, they seem completely ridiculous.
Lock and load, everybody. You go into the armory, and the only thing, it's like that scene in Commando where he robs the gun store, but the only thing they have is crossbows. You just turn around and walk away. Mm-hmm. I'll use my hands.
I will do better out in the dirt wearing flippers with a spear gun.
Love it. Potato gun. Give me a
potato gun is more practical.
It is. All right, so they come up to the lady. We find out later her name is Karen.
And she acts like a Karen.
Yeah, she has to speak to the manager, and
she leaves out some pretty important information whenever they talk to her.
Right? Like, this character should have been mute. Because at first she doesn't speak at all. And I'm like, okay, so she can't tell him what happened or anything like that. But then she's like, hi, my name's Karen. I don't feel good in my tum-tum. Yeah, go away, bitch.
That's all she does. Like, go away, you don't know anything.
If you see some black people having a barbecue, call the cops on them. That's what she was doing. Running around looking for black people to call the cops on.
And then Andre's like, no shine for the new girl.
See you next Tuesday. So they get her back to the lab and they're checking her out, and but they lead the gargoyles right to them as well. Like, now they're trapped in there because the gargoyles are out in their shed door.
How have the gargoyles not found the shed already?
It's the only building.
They go in and out of there all the time.
Right. They're using it as an outhouse.
There is gargoyle shit in a pile in the corner. What are you guys doing in there? Stupid gargoyles. Who's dumber, the humans or the gargoyles in this movie?
I don't know. It's a real toss-up.
It's a real toss-up. So Dr. Linda, she finds out that Karen's pregnant, and they're like, oh, wow, pregnant person, not just a survivor of the virus. Maybe she's got the antibodies or whatever. And she's been living out there this whole time, not getting eaten by gargoyles, because we really don't know anything about gargoyles, even though there's pretty much just people and gargoyles. We don't know their behaviors at all, but she's managed to survive not getting eaten because they don't actually eat people, stupid. They do something else with them. And now we've got a baby, a little one on the way, a little bundle of joy for our happy home.
Mm-hmm.
Sue is just giddy about the prospect of a little tyke running around, and Hal, George Kennedy's a little skeptical, like, baby, huh? Where do you think that baby came from? And Linda's like, oh, you mean, yep.
Right.
Any sign of abnormality?
I should have told you guys what happened to me out there, but I didn't. I'm just, I can't wait to knit little socks and have first Christmas and, oh, a baby. God damn it.
And, you know, in the meantime, Hal is like, kill it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't tell anybody about this baby. But then the doctor like blabs it to everybody.
Right. Well, they find her notebook.
No, Sue finds a printout of a bunch of numbers, and she's like, I found Linda's data. That lady's pregnant. Yay! Do me
right here now, David. So the gargoyles have broken the camera up by the hatch, and so Hal's like, you guys got to go fix that. I got to see what's going on out there.
Well, they make it sound like they breached the hatch.
Mm-hmm.
But then they go over there and there's no breach. And they've got this huge door after the supposed brief hatch, right?
Uh-huh.
So as soon as you open your safety door, they're going to bum rush you.
Yeah. You don't have cameras in the hallway?
Yeah. I mean,
that's where you really need them, outside of both.
Yeah.
But then they get out there and there's nothing wrong with the hatch.
Yeah. The only thing they did was knock out a camera. So they're like, I can't fix that camera. There's gargoyles out there, goddammit. And they're like they've got a little tiny pre-door inside the door so you can peek up there. Fucking gargoyles steal the periscope.
Yeah. This is the first instance of David being a little too MacGyver-y for my tastes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a duct tape periscope.
He's reaching for the duct tape a lot in this one. You're like, God damn it. Fucking Ghostbusters, MacGyver, really? Really?
Alien.
Well, he had the MacGyver
Alien.
haircut.
Well, Alien, yeah.
So Linda tells everybody about the pregnancy, and they're like, kill it with fire, and because the baby has aged 4 months in the span of one evening. So it's a grower in there. She's like, that's not normal, I don't think, for her to be 7 months pregnant in a day. What do you think, Hal? Hal's like, burn it with fire.
No, Hal doesn't.
No,
Hal's like, ooh, we should keep it alive.
Yeah, right.
Now that it's definitely dangerous.
Yeah, let's pull it out of there. Get your gloves on. We're going in through her butt.
Dibs.
Jackie, apple.
Just plug that up with an apple, then it'll only have one way out.
Yep.
Even though it only had one way out the whole time.
And the back pressure will cause it to really fly out of there.
That'll take like 4 or 5 apples.
Then we can use them in the moonshine later.
Yeah, there you go. Butt apples. Get the potato gun.
I think the still will take care of that.
Yeah, that's true. Moonshine will clean off all that. Okay, so Linda's like, all right, scalpel, let's cut this lady open. Karen has been also anesthetized. She's completely unconscious. And so they cut up in her tummy, and Linda's like, okay, I'm going to just pull this here, baby. Ow, my hand! It's got me. And then the little monster comes out and sings Hello, My Baby, Hello, My Darling to hilarity.
Yeah, it explodes real nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, fuck it, I'm out of here. And then it gets out and is doing its like, I've announced you, baby. But then it decides to like kick open Karen worse than she's kicked open because it's like most of the way out.
Uh-huh.
And then she explodes after. He's like, look at me rip this lady up with my feet. And you're like, that monster baby's a shithead.
Bad baby. Spank it.
And I like how it escapes.
Yeah, it's like, bye-bye.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it crawls slowly away, and they just watch it like, oh shit, I'm not grabbing that monster baby.
And you know what started all this is that the doctor poked it in the eye and pissed it off.
Yeah, this was all just a misunderstanding. You know? Don't babies have to be spanked when they're born to like get the breathing going or something like that? Anybody ever spit out a kid?
I don't know anything about that.
Sam, you didn't have a kid fall out of your butthole?
No.
All right. I've never pooped a baby, so
I've never had a baby, so
I just see it in the movies.
Yeah, you see it in the movies. It's got to be true.
Yeah, spank it.
Everything we learn from TV.
Yeah.
Get those lungs pumping.
How many, I don't subscribe to this, but let's just say Proto Man, Adam and Eve. How many babies did they have before they figured that out? Like, God, these things keep falling out of me. I don't know where they're coming from. I just get fat for 9 months and then this dead thing falls on the ground. Because they didn't spank it. They didn't know.
Yeah, I doubt it. I think the babies are probably not, I don't know. Maybe doctors are just assholes. Fuck you, baby. I hate my job. Spank.
It never gets any easier.
Why are you beating the shit out of my newborn baby? Because I'm a doctor, goddammit.
Don't question my methods.
I'm a doctor, not an engineer. I'm a doctor, not a good person. Okay. So yeah, it's in the air vents now. Monster baby's in the air vents. And the crew's like, okay, now we need to kill this thing. Let's burn it with fire. And they're like, oh, you're going to get that close to it with the flamethrower? I'm not. How about these surgical lasers? Ooh, that sounds neat. Surgical laser. Cool. I hope we have a shootout later. Some pew-pew stuff. Turns out these surgical lasers suck ass.
Well, I don't know. For laser gun, I mean, they're really bad props.
Yeah.
But for a laser gun, it is pretty powerful.
Well, kind of.
Especially, it's on a World War II walkie-talkie battery. And it blows a hole in the moonshine. Also, why did you shoot the fucking moonshine?
It wasn't the moonshine. It was a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Nope. It was the moonshine.
Nope.
It even said so.
Really?
Nope, it was the fire extinguisher.
I thought it was a fire extinguisher.
Why would water come out, or why would clear liquid come out of a fire extinguisher?
That's a good point.
Shut a fire extinguisher, it would fucking blow up. It's pressurized.
That's also a good point.
And afterwards, Andre and Neil are like, Neil says, oh, that's down to where there's only 4 shots. And Neil's like, suck.
That sucks.
That sucks.
I love Neil.
So she shot the moonshine.
Yeah, that was a bad call. Moonshine is a powerful chemical, essentially. Like, you throw it on the monster baby, it'll probably melt. You might need that.
Well, you're gonna need it after the monster fucking kills all your friends, and you're like, have a drink, monster. Just have a drink with me.
Yeah.
And then the monster's like, oh my God.
Go out all of the thing. McCready. That's what he does. He has enjoys a bottle of scotch with his buddy before they both get eaten. I think.
She could use it as a doctor, as an antiseptic, if nothing else.
That's a good point. You need alcohol. Also, there is water in that alcohol. You might run out of water and start having to drink some shine just to stay alive, you dumb fuck. So they're going to try to trap this baby. They're going to do a pincher maneuver. All right. So let's not get it up to our level. Let's chase it down to level 4, trying to kill it along the way if we can.
And here's an idea. Mm-hmm. Let's chase it down to the level that only has emergency lighting.
Yeah,
so
where
that we can't fucking see it.
Yep. And it's also got all sorts of debris on the ground.
It was a multi-tiered plan that involved one team with a flamethrower and a crossbow, another team with 2 lasers, and the hope that it would just go to the 4th level and get locked there so they could gas it.
Yeah.
And you ladies, you stay up here next to the speaker.
Yeah.
And then the dumb mechanic's like, because it wants to have sex with them? And he's like, yep, thanks for, yep.
I do too.
But nobody will let me do anything but shove apples up my butt. They said if I could get 6 up there, they'd let me try.
They would let you try. You may now try to have sex with me because you've got 6 apples in your butt.
Well, it's like, when we had that one dog that just humped on the side.
That's true.
It's going to be one of those.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't know how it works. He's just got this irresistible compulsion
to wave his wiener around in a helicopter-like fashion.
Yeah.
In front of the ladies.
Then Sam throws ice cubes at him.
Yeah. Fucking flashers.
All right, so they split up, David and Andre. Not a good idea. And they also got Butch the dog with them. David takes Butch the dog. And the thing drops down from the air vents right behind Andre, and that's when we get our first look at the gargoyle. It's fully grown now. It's only been, this is, God damn it. So it aged 4 months in the span of a night. So let's just be on the benefit of a doubt, 8 hours. And they're like, in 24 hours, it'll be full grown. And they even say it's on the same pace as it was growing. If we applied the same pace that it was at when it was in the mom's tummy, it'll be fully grown in 24 hours. It aged 4 months in 8 hours. It's still going to be a baby tomorrow, you dipshit.
I don't know. There will be questions regarding the life cycle later.
Okay, circle back. Yeah.
There is a point where they're looking, where this camera shot stays on an office chair that has been knocked over to so long that I had to write down, it got one of the office chairs.
My God, this thing's unstoppable. Yeah. So Andre doesn't make it. He gets the
throat slash.
Yeah. The Dalton.
And then to show how close these two are, when David finds his body, he steals a cigar.
Yeah,
what a dick.
You didn't even be like, no, Andre, why didn't I learn how to make that moonshine? And why did that lady shoot it? That was so stupid. Now we'll never drink again.
Zoink.
Here, yeah, thanks for your cigar butt.
He also, never tries to shoot him with fire.
Right?
Although we will find that doesn't work on these guys.
Yeah, well, nothing really does. So it comes up, it slaps David around a bit, and then Butch gets involved, and he's fighting it, and you get monster vision kind of Butch fighting it, and it's like swatting at him and missing, but Butch really isn't doing much of anything either, just barking and jumping around. But then we hear yelp, 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 and John Wick 1 begins.
I was so sad. And then he came around the corner.
Butch!
Yeah.
And Butch is like, bark, bark. I'm okay.
Thank God Butch is okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I felt like. Oh, God damn it. That's the one character I kind of liked. And he's
the
dead.
Dog. Yeah. No, Corman's not going to do the dog.
No. So David picks up Butch and he's going to head him back to the lab or the infirmary or whatever part of the lab, and because the whole thing's a lab. Then Sue busts out and she's like, I'm here, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm here to save you. Oh, the monster got me. It's okay, I get to have a baby.
Did you guys notice that the monster takes the elevator?
Yeah.
He's lazy shit, dude.
Up and down. It knows how to operate an elevator. Maybe there's something that you guys should, maybe they're not as dumb as you think, and maybe you guys should, plan a little better on how to deal with this thing. It also eats Neil. Doesn't eat him.
It doesn't. It kills him.
Neil's dead. I like Neil.
Neil also decides that it would be better if he doesn't fire any shots.
Right. Okay, so after Sue gets nabbed, they find her in a side room and with a monster on her. That's there. Here we are, guys. I didn't do a real good job of setting us up, but this is the entire goddamn movie right here.
And it
tears her shirt. Yet the movie is like, oh, we're going to keep this PG-13, maybe. Not sure.
But he's not humping her or anything.
How does it work? It doesn't have a penis.
It's like maybe stuck a finger in there and like the fingernail fell off.
That's how you impregnate a lady?
It is dripping a lot of goo out of its mouth.
Okay.
Maybe he just drizzles mouth sperm onto her vagina, and it's so good that it just runs up there and gets her pregnant.
It's so good. This is good.
It's
mouth
good
sperm.
at being mouth sperm. It probably isn't good. It's bad. It makes monster babies. But in terms of just raw sperm ability, it's good.
Okay, so let's explore some taboo topics here that we probably shouldn't. Is that rape?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's no penetration. Just getting drooled on. I did not agree to this, said she.
It's a sexual act.
Yeah.
I guess.
An unwanted sexual act. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, well, I'll allow it. So yeah, she gets raped by a monster and isn't happy.
Would you be?
No, it's not. It's not. It wasn't good for her. She doesn't roll over and smoke a cigarette. Play some.
Well, and then Hal sacrifices himself so they can get the women folk.
Oh, God damn it. Hal dies in the dumbest manner.
Yeah, he's like, you get her out of there. I am George Kennedy, goddammit.
Yeah.
Then he yells, die, you miserable fuck. Shoots him twice with the laser and then just gets punched over.
The
and he's
laser
dead.
does nothing. It punched through a boiler for moonshine and does nothing against this thing.
Well, it's because it's flesh and it's cauterized as it goes through. So it's not going to do anything.
It's flesh and it's cauterized as it goes through. So it goes through.
Yeah, you have a hole there, but it's all cauterized.
I think holes are bad for bodies.
Not when it's in your shoulder.
Yeah, he didn't seem to hit any vital organs.
Okay, so it
He's
does
just
go
a
through,
bad
and
shot.
the thing's like, I don't care.
Well, half of his fucking muscles are hanging out.
It's true. He's already in pretty bad shape. Looking a little rough, monster. How about I make you some more holes? And it's like, okay, maybe I'll actually patch some of this dripping flesh up. Cauterize. Shoot here where my spleen is falling out. Okay. Yeah. So, God. They get Sue away and they leave Hal behind. You don't see Hal die, so I thought maybe he was going to come back as like that last minute bloody guy, like, you thought I was dead, fucker. And then he steps on it because he's big.
All right, monster face, you remember me? And the monster's like, no, I don't. He's like, okay, I'm Hal.
From earlier.
The monster's like, I can't help it. You guys all look the same.
Ooh, racist monster.
Oh.
He is a racist monster.
And Karen's like, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, there's some black people having a barbecue. The monster's like, yeah, get them. All right, so now Sue's pregnant. And this is so dumb. To me, this is my favorite scene in the whole movie. Because David and Linda are leaning over and they're like, it's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. It's a month old. And Linda's like, I was raped by a monster and his baby is in me. And they're like, no, it's good. It's all good.
You were pregnant before.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I promise you I wasn't. No, we're pretty sure you were.
Don't worry, babe. I'll take care of it. I'm not going to be a deadbeat dad.
It's a fucking monster in me.
Yeah. Linda's like, I'm really optimistic this is a human baby. And Sue's like, it is not, and why would you be? And the last optimism baby is now a full-grown monster.
Get it out of me. No, it's going to be a bouncing, beautiful boy. We're going to name him Thomas. No, it's got teeth and claws and wants to rape you now. Get this fucker out of me. No, bye-bye.
Here's a
Yeah,
sedative.
just take these 2 pills. Go back to sleep. Have a nice little nap.
Oh, yeah, you'll be fine. She's not. She is now dead from killing herself trying to cut the baby out. David's like, oh, dang it. So was Thomas okay? There was no Thomas.
And then it was
Thomas, the monster baby? Nope, she stabbed him real good.
And then they put the baby in an incubator.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's dead.
Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
I don't think that it is.
Okay.
I don't think it is either.
I think it's like a possum. It's not ready yet. So we're going to put it in the incubator and it's going to grow while we kill this other fucker. And then we'll teach this one to be nice and we won't poke it in the eye.
Mm.
And then he'll be an ambassador to the other gargoyles.
Thomas, the ambassador to the gargoyles.
And he's like,
what makes you so special, Thomas? I have a name.
That's right. Stop raping them. They don't like it.
Really? It seemed like they did. I'm confused. I sure liked it, said the gargoyle. It's a rapist. Linda, after chasing this thing around in the air vents for a little while, which we can glaze over, Linda looks over at David and she's like, what's that thing around your neck? And he's like, oh, this is a dog whistle for my dog. And she's like, my God, it all makes sense now. They have sensitive hearing. And if we blow that dog whistle, they'll be like, owie, my head.
I have to circle back to the search because he goes into the mess hall and there's a pot boiling, a kettle.
Right, who's making
tea?
The
monster was making tea.
You think, okay, so it knows
it's
the only person who could.
The only explanation is the monster was going to have a bit of Earl Grey before he raped and killed these people.
As you do. My understanding. Rapists love Earl Grey.
How does he even drink it? His mouth doesn't close.
It falls into his open holes. That's what it just dribbles out of his mouth and fills up his tummy cavity that is exposed. Yummy. Puts on his reading glasses.
He just walks in, smashes all of the tea in the cup and the kettle because he can't make a fist. And he's like, that's good tea. And then goes about his day.
Puts on a bathrobe and smokes a pipe and leans on his cane. Goes.
He can't do any of that. He just smashes it because he can't close his damn hands.
And he can't smoke a pipe because he can't close his fucking mouth.
Oh, man. He wants to be a sophisticated monster, but it's just not in his biological being.
Do you think he tried on people's clothes when he was walking around? He's like, oh, these are some nice khakis.
Yeah.
He puts them on. He's like, oh, they're ruined because my muscles are hanging out.
Puts on Linda's dress and is like, I'm a pretty lady. I'm a pretty lady.
Then he tried some shoes, and that's what really pissed him off because every pair are too small.
It just busts right through him.
He's like, son of a... Oh, that's it. All you fuckers are dying.
All right, so they've now got a weapon against him, and they record a tape that they loop of them play through the comm system of the dog whistle. You know, it's hurting his earballs.
Meanwhile...
That's going to help. Oh, go ahead, Jackie.
Meanwhile, Butch is sitting over there going, I fucking hate all of you.
This is the worst day of my life, said Butch the dog.
Before David leaves to go in the air vent, now that he's safe from the monster because its hearing is being compromised, he turns back at Linda and he's like, you're doing a great job. And I'm like, why the fuck would you say that right now?
We're going to hook up later, aren't we? Now that my girlfriend stabbed herself after I didn't listen to her when she said that there was a monster baby inside of her. You available?
I don't think she is doing a good job.
I don't think she is either.
I don't think any of them are.
I think Linda's pretty much the worst doctor I've ever seen in a movie. Like, I mean, Paul Reiser had some pretty ulterior motives, but he was less of a handicap for those people in Aliens than Linda is, trying her best.
Well, that's why she ended up in a hole in a bunker.
And here, I mean, even in that scene, she says, I couldn't believe that this movie had the balls to fucking do this. Damn it, David, I'm a doctor, not an engineer. Like, wow. Inappropriate. Little comedy from Linda here. that doesn't fit.
I would have been like,
no, and she needed to be like not a broadcast engineer because Bones was always more specific.
Yeah, right. Which made it funny.
Yeah.
She's not. I don't think she's actually a real doctor either. She just plays one on TV.
She just printed off her medical degree from. You can make it work online. TV repairman, doctor, same thing. Gonna cut this and make me a forgery.
She's banging on the hatch. Guys, I'm a doctor. Let me in. I've got a note. Oh God, she must be legit. It says ITT Tech. Nice. It's an accredited school that doesn't exist anymore because they were scamming people. So anyways, David gets into a tussle with the monster because it smashed all the speakers, and so that tape thing was a real dumb idea, which doesn't even mean anything anyways because the tape breaks, and so it's not playing through the smashed speakers, and he's like, oh shit, and so then he grabs a spray bottle and sprays it in the face with some undeclared chemical, and it's like, owie.
Oh, he sprayed it with the fire extinguisher because on top of everything else, the ear pain that the monster is experiencing, he's smashing stuff and he accidentally catches the place on fire.
There's a hallway with oily rags in a box next to a barrel that says highly explosive.
And it's in the middle of the walkway and it's dripping. Like, they are not taking care of the facility.
Wow.
Well, and even when the two maintenance guys were alive, they're like, we were going to fix that next week. What else are you fucking nutsacks doing?
Now? What are you up to now? You out looking for water? No, there's no water up there. Okay, get fucking working on something then, you dickhead.
They've just been drunk for the last 2 months in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Shoving apples up their butt. I'm going to get all 6 in there this time, Frank.
As one does. So David's rolling around on the floor. He gets away a little, and then he MacGyver's a spear out of duct tape and a rod of some sort. And then a trip line that's tied to a steam vent.
Yeah. He also at one point had shot the monster and the crossbow was highly ineffective.
Very ineffective. It seemed like that squirt bottle was pretty effective and he walked away from that plan pretty good. Like it seemed like it was melting his face and he's like, oh, yeah, that didn't do anything. That's the one thing that has done something because your spear and trip line and like the pacing here is like really, whoa, this guy's putting it all together. This is how we're going to defeat the monster in this scene. And nothing happens. It does nothing.
There's supposed to be so much terror and suspense and Linda's re-splicing the tape because that's exciting. Uh-huh. I also noticed because I was watching this in headphones through this sequence, I actually had to turn them down. It was ear-piercingly loud versus the rest of the movie. So that was pretty annoying.
Okay.
I will say with Sam, since we're on the topic, I fucking hated this movie. Every time that they opened a door or something went wrong, the most annoying beeping sound. And it didn't just happen once or twice. I mean, we're talking like every 5 minutes, there's an annoying beeping sound.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, sound design wasn't good here. There was also some weird, like when he's trying to close the air vent farts. There was a little at the end of the air vent. Yeah. Like who put this together? Like what's the Foley guy doing? Like, oh, I'll just catch my dog tooting. That's what a door closing sounds like. What? Okay. Just rip off the sound effects from Alien. I mean, that's what you do in all your other movies, Roger.
That's like the Corman punishment or whatever. Like this many days over schedule, I'm putting a fart sound in it. this much over budget, this happens, and so like when you don't do a good job, he's like, this one gets the special treatment fully. Nothing that will make it that we can't sell, but he needs to be embarrassed when he watches the first cut of this.
Yeah, it's like the penis spliced into Fight Club. Like, did I just hear a fart when that door closed? Or is that in my head? Am I that obsessed with farts that I just now hear them out of nowhere? Because there's no way that door closing made a fart sound. No, there was a penis. So Linda comes in, she hits the damn thing with a crowbar, and then David's like, oh, cool, thanks. It's down. I'll light it on fire. And he lights it on fire, and it burns up.
I was surprised that this happened because now you have to go, burning that suit is all of the budget for this movie. I would have thought that they would have reused that. Maybe this is like the 10th tour for that suit. We don't know. Yeah.
That's why his guts are falling apart, because it keeps getting his rubber suit caught on door handles and things of that nature. Oh, Roger, I ruined the suit again. Burn it with fire. Then I like David's freak out, because now that they think it's dead. Of course it's not, but it's laying there burninated, and he goes to town on it with the crowbar, like, you killed and raped my girlfriend. Now I have to bang Linda, who is arguably hotter.
Oh, she's much hotter. I think I wrote down Linda is hot like 4 times in my notes.
Yep.
He smashes its head in.
Yeah.
And she's like, stop it. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Your idea of having him stop it right now is about as good as your optimism that Sue was having a human baby.
So where are we going to put the crib for Thomas? Thomas is a monster baby.
He's going to be the ambassador to the gargoyles.
No, Thomas is a real human. He's I swear to God, that thing I pulled out of that lady was not Thomas. Thomas is still in there cooking. I'm a doctor, trust me. The mother is dead. Nope, he's fine. Do. Not hearing you. So they walk away. They're like, oh, thank God that's over with. Now, where can we get a drink at? If you catch my drift. And the monster's like, I'm not dead yet. And heals itself. And then it goes and chases them into like a closet where they keep their hazmat stuff.
And this is when I'm super pissed, because I realize that the movie is not ending now.
Yep, it's not over.
So he's pretty busted up. So he's like, all right, I have one plan left. My plan is that you need to save us. Here's a fucking dog whistle.
Yeah, get out of here, Linda. You're the bait. And so she drops out of an air vent, and she's like, hey, get away from him, you ugly motherfucker. Wait a minute. Haven't I heard that line before? You're not Ripley. And it's like, oh, lady butt, rawr, and chases after her. And she takes the dog. The dog whistle is on a fucking chain that you hang around your neck. And you can put it in your mouth without taking it off. And she takes it off, subsequently dropping it. You moron. That was your only weapon.
The only way to drop it is to take it off your neck.
God damn it. But eventually.
And the only way to like make sure that you drop something that's hard to drop is if you take it off your neck while climbing a ladder.
And then we get a bunch
which gives you...
Go ahead, Sam.
It prevents you from climbing the ladder because you have to stop to take that thing off your neck.
Yeah, while getting chased by a monster.
And then this is where we get a bunch of weird shots of the monster's feet, and then her feet, and then the monster's feet, and her feet, and it just keeps flashing back and forth. Like, that's not dramatic.
Feet.
And the guy in the costume has tripped several times on this ladder and nailed his face into it.
Oh, that was a bad one.
Because he can't fucking see the steps, right? And he's got these long toenails on his feet. He's like, why am I the monster for this movie?
Why did I sign up for a Roger Corman movie? Bad idea.
He's like, this is why I've been taking the elevator.
You bitch.
Meanwhile, Kane Hodder's over there laughing his ass off at this poor man. Suck it, buddy. I'm fucking Jason. So she manages to get into the aforementioned air vent that makes fart sounds and electrocutes the damn thing after action reaching for buttons thanks to David. And so
stand up, you lazy fuck.
Yeah, dude, you were just walking just a minute ago, you bastard. So it falls down to the bottom of this air shaft or whatever the hell this thing is, and I'm down here, and it can't reach the fucking ladder. It's jumping for a ladder that is the only way out if you're a human that falls into this air shaft. The ladder should be reachable for everybody.
Yeah.
No, this is...
Especially monsters that are taller than humans.
I would think it would have no problem climbing the ladder.
Well, this is the idiot plot. So, you know how they said that they had more people that were eventually, you know, that they were part of this colony or whatever, the lab. And it seems like there's not a lot of people working in this lab.
Right.
So they're like, hey, have you seen the air shaft? Poink, pushes them down there.
But then how do you get the body out? Because if you go down there to get the body out, then you're trapped down there.
You tie a string.
Hold still for a minute. I need to tie a string on you.
Yeah. And
Wait,
then,
that's what we did to Phil last week when we pushed him in the air shaft.
That's right. And then the blades chop him up real nice for you. And then as he's coming up, you just got a fishing net and you're just grabbing the pieces as they're being blown up from the air vent. And you have a barbecue. And you don't really have to do that much because now you can just put it in pots and boil it. And then the meat will be so satisfying when it just falls off the bone.
I think the moral of the story of this podcast is don't invite Jackie into your colony in a post-apocalyptic world. You're gonna die.
You will end up with 6 apples in your ass because that's what she wants to do before she cooks you.
It's not sexual, believe it or not. It's like preparing a pig for a roast.
Damn it. It all came out. Now I'm never going to get invited to the Mojave lab.
Yeah, you should see what she does with the injector and the turkey baster. Okay, so it's down there. It's like, I'm trying to get out of here. I can't. Is this ladder OSHA approved?
It looks down and is like, oh, the only way that I can die by this fan is if I jump up and down, thereby breaking the chain link that is above it. So he does that.
And I like that he punches a hole only large enough for his foot to go in, and he kind of gets it stuck in the net, and then the fan turns on it chops his foot off, and he's like, oh, and then his whole body goes through that foot-sized hole.
Yeah.
It gets all diced up. It's pretty funny.
Linda's like, I can't watch, but she won't stop watching.
Yeah, it's like a car wreck. You drive by, you're like, any good meat?
Damn it.
Any good meat at the car wreck?
Yeah, since, this is a post-apocalyptic world, Sam. See a car wreck, you might need that person later.
They don't have cars. There's no car wrecks, Jackie.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Never mind.
What a weirdo. So they're like, okay, this place sucks now. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Rocky Mountain Lab. That's only 4,000 miles away.
He said it was 1,800 miles.
1,800 miles on foot?
With gargoyles out there.
With gargoyles out there and no supplies.
And all of a sudden, David can walk now?
Yeah.
Too fucking lazy to stand up to get the buttons, but
right.
You say, hey, let's go to the Rockies. And he's like, oh, all right, give me some duct tape on this leg and we're out.
1,800 miles away with our dog and you and the clothes on our backs. That's all we've got.
My favorite is when he has this remote control thing with 4 buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pushing them in some kind of weird sequence when there's clearly a button that just says destruction. Detonate. But you got to push the other 3 buttons.
It looks cooler. You get the beeping sounds. Boop, beep, boop, boop, beep.
And these monsters are like swarming.
Yeah, they're like, our buddy. I must have revenge for his chopping ups.
Maybe it's like when a skunk dies and you can smell its butthole.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't get it. Yeah, so they blow up the Mojave lab on the way. That's your movie. I need some goddamn answers, guys. Like, what are they? Where did they come from?
The gargoyles?
Do they eat or poop?
Not now it's plastic suits, they don't.
So let's just start with their life cycle.
Okay.
What we do know is that they will find a human woman, impregnate that woman, and the subsequent birth of the next generation of monster kills the host.
Correct.
And deadbeat
thereby
dad.
making their life cycle completely unsustainable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, these things, we don't see it. It kills men. So we know that it's like, I can smell your balls, die. I don't want you knocking up my ladies that aren't part of my species. And which is fine because, you know, it works in Alien too. The human's a host, not an actual mommy, I think. Or do they seem like, are these mommies? Are these monster baby moms? Like, is it in her uterus?
Yeah, they say it is.
Yeah.
Then that doesn't work. The body would reject this thing. It would kill it.
But then also, before we just, you're like, okay,
Yeah, all right, life cycle.
More dubiously, they only kill the males. They don't eat them. They can't open and close their mouth, so they don't eat at all.
They don't eat or poop?
Their gestation period is about 24 hours, and they can come to full size in about 48, which means that their metabolism is turning at an amazing rate, giving their lifespan by me to be the estimate of about the same as a blue bottle fly.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
They last about a week.
Yeah. And eventually, because it's one and done, and they're not making any more ladies because you're killing all the dudes, you're going to deplete your supply of vaginas.
It's a life cycle that biology wouldn't do.
No. And where do they come?
Evolution doesn't work like that.
Do monster babies come out of your vagina like a normal baby does, or do you have to have a cesarean each time?
Unclear.
No, she said when Sue killed herself with the abortion that the monster baby was actually trying to chew its way out once it realized what was going on.
Where am I? How did I get here? This isn't a Wendy's.
Yeah.
How many of these fucking things are there?
How many can there
Not very
be
many.
with such a dubious life cycle?
Can't be very many. Are
Yeah.
they people? Or did the virus mutate these people into being gargoyles? Or did fucking Cloverfield come down with gargoyles along the way and be like, see you later, Cloverfield, we're going to go rape ladies?
I don't know. I can't even figure out whether... There's no way... The only thing that they're hoping for, I guess, is if a lady monster pops out of one of these, then their species is saved. Maybe.
I don't get it. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a monster movie that has such less exposition about the actual monster itself than this one. There is nothing cleared up about these goddamn things. They just exist.
Yep.
And can't. All right. Let's, anybody else want to chuck a question at us?
Do they make
I
it?
think that's it.
Do they make it to Colorado?
We'll find out in the sequel because that's what the sequel is about. Their trip to Colorado. His trip
Is it
to
about
Colorado.
Trip to Colorado, or is it about already in Colorado? Because it seems like, from what I read of the limited plot synopsis, that it's just this over again in the Colorado facility.
I read it was actually the opposite, that Andrew Stevens wanted to get outside more, so it takes place above ground.
Okay, because that's my last note, was the interesting story is what happens after this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll find out because I think we'll just double these up for my picks, much to Jackie's chagrin. But yeah, no, if it wasn't for the sequel, Jackie, they are immediately eaten. Or not eaten. Well, they could be eaten. Then nobody said anything about bears not being around anymore. But yeah, they're not going to make it. They're dead as shit. They're ex-people.
Well, considering that they're trying to walk through the Mojave Desert.
With no goddamn water or supplies. Fucking dead. Sam, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Hey, let's do final recommendations. I'll start with Sam.
I didn't like it. I struggled through this. This is sort of the meeting place of two things that I can't handle, and one of them is the single location confinement film, and the other is post-apocalyptic movies without any zaniness in them. And this was a perfect marriage of both of those things that I can't stand.
Okay, don't from Sam.
So I give it a don't.
All right, Jackie, I know what you're saying.
I'm gonna give it a don't. It was draggy. The action sequences made zero sense. If one guy dies from getting clawed in the shoulder, and then the next guy gets clawed in the shoulder, but he's okay. No. And it was just dumb. And that monster was just fucking gross.
I think it's stupid. I don't see how you can see something that looks as terrible as that and be like, ew, icky. That implies that there's a sense of reality to the monster that, like, oh, that thing's horrifying because it's so grotesque. No, it looks awful.
Yes, it's ugly as fuck. And I was bored.
Okay.
I'm with Sam. There wasn't enough zingers in there. I didn't care about any of the characters, and I kind of wanted everybody to fucking die.
Oh, absolutely.
Except for Butch, the dog.
Yeah.
I liked him.
And Neil. I thought Neil was fun. He's one of the first to die. I am just barely over on this one. Just barely. So it pretty much makes it like I'm so close to don't that it pretty much makes it a don't from everybody. But I do think that there's Jackie, no matter how much she complains about it, had a good time riffing it.
I did.
She was very chatty during this movie. So I do think that there is a market of our listeners that would enjoy this a bit. It's a 6 out of 10 for me. It's nothing great, but I think the plot itself is bonkers. The scene with Linda telling Sue that she's got a human baby in there. No, I fucking don't. Was hilarious. And I just thought that the character's moronicy was worth the price of admission. I mean, it's not the idiot plot because they didn't fucking know that there was a monster in that lady. It's not their fault that it's killing them. But in general, these people wouldn't have survived without the monster in their lives.
Yeah, no.
So choose as you will is my recommendation. It's a risk, I think. It's not for everybody, but I thought it was fine. Oh, one last question. What is the terror within?
The babies.
But that's not. The babies only killed one person.
The monsters within the facility.
Is that just, it's within the ground or whatever. It's not a very good title, I don't think. It's not accurate.
They can't call it the monster in the facility. Nobody would go see it.
Yeah, monster in the facility. I'd see that one. I like bad titles. At least it doesn't lie to you.
That's right.
Monster babies kill you. 2. Okay, so on a personal and unrelated note to movies and all, but I figured somebody out there would want to know because they were so riveted of our tales. I sold the Broham today. It is gone. I am now motor homeless. So kind of sad. Those adventures are over and we'll never be able to share terrible stories with you guys ever again about it.
Yeah, like the time when you broke down on the middle of a freeway.
Yep, that was fun.
And blocked traffic for a couple hours.
Yep. Yeah, I was not popular in our county. Thanks to that motorhome, but I figured somebody would want to know because they'll ask, hey, how come we don't ever hear anything about the motorhome anymore? Well, because it's gone. Related to the show, though, we do have some listener feedback from Klausy. He sent us a novel, and he said, please don't read this whole thing on the air because it's way too big. But he makes some interesting points about Sam and I's karate unspecial. You remember doing that way long time ago?
Yeah.
In it, I said that, and I think we both said it, that we weren't fans necessarily of Bruce Lee's movies. We prefer a lot of other people over Bruce Lee. And he agrees and says that Jackie is the GOAT. He is not talking about our Jackie. He's talking about Jackie Chan. But he did make an interesting point. Sorry, honey. I figured that would break your heart.
I thought maybe this was a new term, GOAT, and I was being called cool again.
GOAT is not a new term. If you do not know what the goat is, then you are living in a cave.
What is it?
The greatest of all time. Jeez Louise.
Gosh.
Look, like, open a book one time.
It's not going to be in a book.
Sure it will. He says that I said that Jackie is to kung fu films what Muhammad Ali is to boxing. And if so, then Bruce Lee is the Jack Dempsey. Without him, it might never have gained the popularity it ever did and remained a niche genre. Everybody in the world wanted to do some form of karate after Bruce Lee, just like boxing's major boom was during and after Jack Dempsey. Agree or disagree, Sam?
Sure.
Good commentary.
Yeah, no, I know that he is the springboard point of popularity, but in terms of volume and production, and that he was friends with Chuck Norris and they started those schools together, but Chuck ran with what he started and Jackie did the most with his career.
He goes on to explain that at some point we talked about in Halloween or Halloween 3 episode, a mention of a turf fire, and maybe we didn't know what a turf fire was, but he says a turf fire is a traditional Irish fire born out of the necessity to survive when the English invaded and finally did a job on our Gaelic tribes in the 1600s with a bit of ethnic and cultural cleansing. They were free to chop down all of our trees that were protected under Gaelic law.
What a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, real dicks. The English weren't nice to the Irish. He does have a question for you, Jackie.
Yes.
And he later admitted to me that he was drinking, so some of this is a little gibberishy. But in vampire films, do the vampires get the sexy on, or is all that wooing just so they can bite them on the neck? Was trying to find a vampire film in which the vampire made the action Jackson, which I'm not really sure was a reference to maybe something we said on that episode as well. My theory is that they either can't get a stiffy because their blood flow must be shite, or else biting a neck for them is like a ride and a meal all in one, leaving what is usually a woman who is seduced by the irresistible vampire with a very anticlimactic ending. So
I think it's a 2-for-1.
Yeah. You think vampires are truly horny, or are they just like blood?
They like variety. They've been alive for thousands of years. They're fucking bored as shit. So they're like, you know what? I'm going to bang every kind of person from here to Norway, but not that one country. We're going to leave them out.
Do sexy glitter vampires ever? Well, of course they do. There's a whole movie about it. I was going to ask, do they ever just bang a lady and not bite her on the neck? And yeah.
Yeah.
Then they have a war with werewolves and use their wife as a hammer.
I will say, though, that my favorite sexy time vampire movies are still made in like the 70s, where they're showing a lot of boob and.
Yeah. Like Corman vampire movies.
Yeah.
Or even the Christopher Lee. Well, it doesn't have any boobs in it, but the Christopher Lee Draculas, things like that.
Yeah. And I mean, they haven't really done like a really good, almost pornographic vampire movie, because that's what I want. They haven't reached that level of pure fucking awesomeness for me. Because there's, in vampire movies, you always get boobs, but you never get any wieners. And I think that they've got enough blood in there to get a wiener up. And maybe that's why they have to eat, why they get the sexy time on, because they're like, I am running a quart low.
Yeah, I got to tank up my ding dong.
Yeah.
I don't know, in the Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola movie, a werewolf humps a redheaded lady on a bird feeder, so...
And he also
that's pretty sexy, right?
Stands over an arguably raped Keanu Reeves and watches some ghost ladies hump him. They're not ghost ladies.
That's not sexy.
They're vampire. Like, he's just standing there. Gary Oldman's like, yeah, take it, Keanu Reeves. It's weird.
No, I think it's a combination. And when you're bored like that,
double dipping.
Yep.
Double dipping. Vampires are double dipping.
But I think that's why they have to eat. The male ones anyway. Females, they don't They don't need all that fucking business.
Do vampires, while they're having sex, because that's how AIDS can get transmitted, is in the butt. You could rip some stuff, and you got a little bit of blood.
What are you, from the fucking
going
80s?
No, that's what happens. Is that it's not transmitted through sperm. It's transmitted through blood.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. So, do vampires want to get injured and injure others while having sex? So it gets all, it's a messy blood orgy. Is that the goal? Is that the end game? like when you go on a date,
the disease.
You're a normal person and you go on a date with, a lady for the first time, and you're like, boy, I'm hoping tonight ends in sex. Do vampires feel the same way? Like, man, God, let's have this night turn into a blood orgy. Be awesome.
So they're going out looking for buttholes to rip up?
Yeah. I mean,
they're vampires. They're super strong. They can kind of do whatever they want.
They could have a blood orgy whenever they feel like it.
Pretty much.
All right.
Give people extended ass cheeks.
Probably overthinking it.
Yeah.
Vampires. Yeah. All right. Well, that's your show, guys. Next week.
Bye, Clousy.
I think we should be all back. I'm not real clear on what the plan is, but I believe it's Sam's pick next.
Is it?
Yeah, because Jackie did the Beastmaster. I did this one.
And me and Sam did one last week.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You guys did one last
It's my turn.
It's Jackie's turn. I lied.
And we're doing Dragonheart.
Dragonheart. All right.
With Dennis Quaid.
Okay. That'll be interesting. Enjoy your week, guys. Get to the chopper.